I know Python, C++, C Sharp. With all of this, I would want to tell you which programming language should you go for? Which programming language should you choose? Because you've heard that like each and every programming language has its own applications, that Python is more used for like machine learning, data analysis, and all this stuff, and C++ is for apps and lower level stuff, and then that like JavaScript is for web development. You've heard a lot of things. So what would you want to go for? It really depends on what you want. And I'll just give you a general description of what you might get. So if you really want JavaScript, or like if you really want web development, or building like extensions on Google Chrome, or building like websites or anything like that, or maybe even apps, right? Like desktop apps, like video games, for example, then you should probably go with JavaScript because it's pretty simple to learn. It doesn't take that long, and you get the gist of it, and you can actually like go ahead with it and actually build apps and do all this stuff. If you want to make desktop apps, I mean, I would say start with Python because it's way simpler. C++, like I've tried to try and start making a desktop application in it before, but it's just very vague, and like there's this thing called Qt, like sort of some kind of library that you can use in C++ to try and build desktop apps, but there's just this vagueness around it. So start off with Python, and then you'll jump into C++ maybe later in your coding journey. If you want to do everything, if you're kind of interested in everything, right? You kind of like the idea of creating apps, you kind of like the idea of maybe doing hacking at some point, maybe creating mobile apps, all this stuff, then I'd say just go with Python because it has the most libraries, it has the most opportunities. You can do machine learning, you can do data analysis, you can make apps, you can make websites, you can do all this stuff. It just requires a little bit of maneuvering with like libraries and all this stuff, which you can find a way to maneuver it out. You just have to kind of search for the right library. So for example, websites, you got Flask. You'll still have to know a little bit of HTML and JavaScript, but not as much, and you kind of get the privilege of using Python a lot as well. It gives you, like, you want to do databases, load up MySQL, and that's your database. You want to do machine learning, load up TensorFlow or PyTorch, that's your machine learning. You want to build an app, Tkinter is like a kind of that comes with Python library. Tkinter is an app that you can just use for like if you want to try everything, start off with Python for now. There's no language as diverse as Python.